Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to Thursday afternoon at 1 o'clock, unless you're watching the show at a different
Yeah,
time,
because you're recording it.
because it's launched on Thursday
Yeah.
at 1 o'clock, but you can catch us in. But I don't know if we really mention it often enough, but there are multiple ways that you can watch the show or even just listen to it. You don't necessarily have to look at our beautiful faces. You can listen to our show at any time on Spotify, but you can watch us here on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We are on, uh,
Yes, but out.
what else?
I don't know. We're not on Instagram.
Spotify.
Can't do Instagram with that.
You can pick it up on Instagram. YouTube is a good way to
That's the
go.
best one.
And when in doubt, you can go to stuartsax.com.
Yeah, that's
And
good too.
then you can watch any of our shows at any time and learn all about us. Yep. Um, Music appreciation is what we thought we'd talk about today. And I think part of that was triggered by our daughter after years. She's always been interested in music, but did she ever take piano lessons? Our son did.
No.
I don't think our daughter ever took piano lessons, even though we had a piano in the house forever. All of a sudden, as an adult, she decided she wants to learn how to play guitar. And, just out of the blue, she thought about it and we said, go for it. And she started taking guitar lessons in Chicago at a very, very famous location, the Old Town School of Folk Music. Well, it's the Old Town School of Music now, I think. They
I
dropped the
think so.
word folk. But it's a staple in Chicago. And she's been taking classes. And surprisingly enough, after about 6 weeks, she's doing pretty darn good.
Yeah, and she even has a great voice. I've never heard her sing, hum anything to
Yeah.
a song, and she played for us and sang at the same time, and it was terrific.
And
Yeah.
and when we asked, why all of a sudden out of the blue you decide that you wanted to learn how to play the guitar, and she mentioned that she always has appreciated music.
Hmm.
She goes to concerts and all in a variety of concerts from rock to jazz
Hmm.
to light classical music.
Hmm.
And she's always been interested, and she said she just appreciated music. And I thought about how important music is. And maybe I'm biased because it's always been a major part of my life, either listening to it or playing it. Uh, but how much music is important in our lives for a variety of reasons. Uh, And sometimes it can be to go to concerts, which we don't go to the great big stadium
Not
type
anymore.
concerts
We used to.
anymore.
We used to.
I find them to be too costly, and unless you're going to pay the really big bucks to be near the stage, you end up spending a lot of money and sitting in the rafters and watching most of the concert on a big widescreen
Yeah, yeah. No,
TV.
no, and most of them have CDs out, and I can listen to CDs or see the videos of their concerts. Um, so yeah, I really don't enjoy
And it's
throngs
getting
of
harder and
people
harder to find those small, intimate
venues.
restaurants and clubs
Right.
uh, where we have a very, very wonderful friend, Mark Toussaint, here in Dallas.
He's been on your show.
He's been on my show, Someone You Should Know. He is an absolute lover of the old crooners, and he has a voice that is beautiful, very much like Perry Como and Frank
Frank Sinatra,
Sinatra
yeah.
and Tony.
Tony Bennett, Dean Martin.
Yes, and he sings on a fairly regular basis at a wonderful steakhouse here in Dallas, and it's an intimate place. And when you go and you listen to him singing, and he just loves comments from the audience, and that's when I love to write down on a napkin some of my old favorites, like, My Funny Valentine and My Kind of
Yes.
Town. Uh, and to experience that is to show, I think, a real love and appreciation of music the way it was. Uh, we just another place to watch great music, I think. Uh, Even though you got to spend a little time watching
The
the
commercials.
commercials in between,
I
is
know what you're gonna say.
PBS.
Yeah.
On PBS, we just recently watched uh, a a show about with Michael Bublé. No, no,
Yeah, well,
Josh Groban.
there was one about Michael
Yeah,
Bublé, but
Josh
Josh
Groban
Groban.
just did one, and I mean, honestly, the more I sat and watched that, the more I felt like I was right there in the concert.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great concert. And it was in a venue in a church in England.
Yes,
And it's a great show.
church.
When I think of music appreciation, when you said let's talk about music appreciation, I thought, oh, those were my high school days,
Well,
and I remember music appreciation classes. But I have to tell you, I thought of our daughter with the guitar also, but I also think of our grandson. I was in the car with him yesterday, and I put on the light jazz station so he could hear some light jazz. He plays the saxophone. You all probably
mhm.
hear us talking about him. Um, and and although he wasn't feeling well at the time, I'm sure he appreciated it because then he said, "Oh, Grandma, I want you to listen to what we're going to be playing in the fall with our band at high school." And he proceeds to play this piece and he wants to learn it and take a solo in with the piece. Um, I'm just so thankful that at his age, he can appreciate different forms of music because we've opened him up to
And
things that we
he
like.
started in middle
He
school.
did. Yeah,
He's played piano for a number of years. And he, again, just like our daughter saying, I'd like to learn to play the saxophone, he decided that he
no, she
wanted
wants to play guitar.
guitar. He decided he wanted to play saxophone. Well, he started with piano, and
He did. And he's a great
I
pianist.
always encourage people that if you have a child or a grandchild that might be interested in music, piano, I think is the best place to start because it's a multi-key instrument that has lots of octaves and all, and but you can learn to read, and it's the basis for a lot of what individual instruments will play. But he started on the saxophone, and I've got to tell you, within 1 year, this kid really understood the saxophone. And by the time he got to high school, then it was more than just playing notes. It was learning, the highs and the lows, and all. And he plays in the marching band in the fall and in the concert band in the spring. And I am absolutely blown away when we go to the concerts for these high school kids, and a lot of credit to the band directors and everything who devote all of their energies into developing these young students. Some of whom will make music their careers,
Mhm.
some of them who it's just a good, healthy hobby for them. But it's when I sit and look at these kids and listen to them
Mhm.
on stage, and I'm thinking to myself, these kids are all 15, 16, 17 years old, and they sound like any professional orchestra because they put a lot of time and effort into it.
And they've already, all of them, not all of them, some of them, our grandson included, have been performing at contests, state contests, regional
Individual
contests,
contests.
with the instrument they're playing. And um, I'll never forget the time he went before his first judge. He was a wreck, as he should be. We were wrecks for him. To stand up in front of a panel of judges, and you're the only one in the room, unless you're doing a duet with a pianist or another
Yeah.
uh, player. but it's I've done it as a kid, and it's it's tough, very tough.
But it's interesting. It's either tough ongoing for some kids,
Yeah.
or in the case of our grandson, it was tough the first couple of
And
times
after that,
and it became more
yeah.
comfortable. And now the last recital, if you will, that
Yeah.
we went to, our grandson got up there with a piano accompanist,
Yeah.
and this kid just blew the roof
He
off.
did, and you can tell he likes it because of his body language, how he reacts with the saxophone too.
Yeah.
And when I asked him, you know, you didn't seem nervous. Were you nervous? Not really, Grandma. I just like blown away.
Yeah.
I was nervous for him again, but and it's interesting because we think that he's going to take this into college. However, he did say to me yesterday, Grandma, you don't realize all these kids who go before the judges and other contests that I don't take part in, and they're the ones that are probably going to be picked by the bands for the colleges. And I said, not necessarily. You know,
Well,
you never know. And you've got 2 more years. You still got 2 more years till
he's got
college.
2 more years, but
So,
this kid has elevated himself to first chair
yeah.
saxophone
Mhm.
and all.
Mhm.
And I think that if there are, you know, scholarships available for music, careers and all, he's on his
Yeah.
way because to be in a position that he's in, as you know, and I don't want to just single out our grandson because he's our grandson, but there are a lot of students that by the time they're sophomores in high
Yeah.
school, they are already like almost
Yeah.
semi-professional. And also by the time they graduate, they either graduate saying, I've done my music and
Right.
I'm finished with my
Right.
music.
Right.
Uh, or they say, I really enjoy this and I want to move
I want to
forward.
move forward. Yeah. Yeah. But I'm just grateful that all of his bandmates and our grandson and our daughter all appreciate different forms of music. It's just
Hmm.
not the jazz, it's just not the classical, it's just not the folk. They like rock, they like
Everything.
classical. I mean, they're into it all,
Okay,
and I think
As
it makes you a better rounded person.
as we are, sometimes we will just sit on the couch or in a chair and put
Hmm.
on headphones and all and listen to some soft music to meditate.
Hmm.
Sometimes we will just lie down in the afternoon to take a little nap and we ask Alexa to put on some soft
Hmm.
meditation. And you listen to music that you normally would not
Yeah.
recognize, or and you listen to it and you appreciate it
Yeah.
for a variety of reasons. You know, it's a part of our lives, and I think we're preaching to the choir because I'm sure that most of the people that are watching and listening, when you get into the car, you either turn on a news station because you want to listen to the latest news and all, or you pick a station. And for instance, in your car, you've got a button that says favorites, and
Hmm.
you click on that button and it brings up all of the stations that, and you've got everything from yacht rock to love songs,
Yeah.
to light jazz to,
There's folk,
classic rewind is
country.
one of my favorites.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
country. I do country a lot.
and everything in between. That's
That's
the key is.
But you know, I'm wondering if what turned me on was in grade school, and I don't know if you had this. We could get out of school early 1 day a month during the week, and we would go downtown into Chicago. We'd all take the train for those of us that wanted to go, and we'd listen to the Chicago Symphony. And
Really?
yeah,
That
you
was
didn't
part
know
of
that? You
school
didn't have,
program? No, we didn't have
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And it was for all kids in all grade schools across Chicago and the suburbs. And yeah, on Tuesdays, and there was a 2 o'clock performance of the Chicago Symphony, and then we'd take the train back. And in the beginning, I thought, I don't know if I really like this, but the more that I sat there and listened and watched them playing, I mean, that was interesting to watch them and their expressions and their body
Yes.
movements. Um, Yeah, and I think that's what really started me on music.
Yeah, I enjoy symphony. Have not seen in person that many
No?
symphonies. I have seen things like chamber music
Hmm.
performed, which I also very
Ooh,
love
I
and
like
find
that.
very, very relaxing.
Yeah.
Uh, but the fact that you brought up the symphony reminds me we took our I think we went with our grandson
Hmm.
to a symphony hall here in
Hmm.
Dallas, and they showed a movie was
Was it Star
Star Wars.
Wars?
They showed Star Wars movie on a large
It's
screen,
amazing.
and they played the score, John Williams' score
Yeah.
from Star Wars, live to the movie. I
It
mean,
was very different. It was incredible.
yeah, because the music in the real movie is in
Hmm.
the background,
Yeah.
and this you watched.
Yeah.
You know, and whenever you watch a live performance of either anything from a jazz trio
Yeah.
to a rock band
Yeah.
to a symphony orchestra, you know, the visual part of it
Yeah.
is really very, very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's amazing. You wouldn't think so. You wouldn't think about it.
Yeah,
But, well, this
yeah,
is interesting. We've
it's
never
a
really discussed it.
yeah, I mean, it is, and it's all around us. It's a part of our
Mhm.
lives, and it is to be appreciated because whether you are well or you are ill or you are just want a companion while you're driving, and all music
Music soothes
can
the
fill.
soul.
Ooh, that's a good way to step out,
Hmm.
right?
It does.
So go soothe your souls and come back again next Thursday. Okay? Bye.
Thanks, guys.